Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today, as promised, I have our very first going back unboxing video of a 6 scale figure. The reason why we calling it going back because I'm going to be making a series of videos reviewing figures that already came out in the past and a few years back, and they're in my collection. And that was before I started doing review videos on figures. So our very first going back review will be Princess Leia and Wicket 2-pack by Hot Toys mms551, and this figure was released back in 2020. So we're going to be looking at it as a freshly new review and see what we can expect. Okay, in this case we have our regular Hot Toys black box with the picture of the figures in the front. On the bottom part of it, you have this little sliding, it's glued in, but it's this little sliding picture of the figure itself on a different pose. We have going around on one side and the other, more pictures of the figures themselves. As always, the back has got all the information from the production company who made it, warnings, etc. And on this side, we have the Princess Leia and Wicket. It's the overflow from the front. And as always, the box opens up, sliding up. You have a nice picture of Leia and Wicket in Endor. And this is part of the base that we're going to be looking at in a second. And the insert slides out, and then you have the figures with all the accessories on a typical window for Hot Toys. And as always, we're going to put all the figures and the accessories on the table. We're going to be looking at them and see what we think. And of course, the very first thing I always try to do first, of course, is taking out the top layer so we can look at the figures first before we review them. So in this case, you got the first layer with all the accessories, the Leia and Wicket. And the first thing we do is we're gonna get Leia out, and in this case we got the Leia Endor, which is her general Leia Organa outfit that goes underneath the poncho that came with the figure itself. So that's her look on Return of the Jedi. We're gonna be doing a closer look at her a little later, but just to give you a preview of what she looks like. And then, of course, the most anticipated figure of all of them will be Wicket, which is right here. There's a few variations that went from the prototype to the actual production line. And, of course, the prototypes always looks much better than the actual production line because they're trying to sell a figure. But this figure is actually amazing, even though with all the changes that they have. And we'll talk about that later. But yeah, we're going to put all the stuff on the table, all the accessories, and we're going to go one by one and everything it comes with. Okay, and before we get into the review, I just want to point out that we don't have to bring them out. We do have some extra wrist pegs that Hot Toys always bring. You have a set of flesh-looking wrist pegs for Leia and a set of little dark brown wrist pegs for Wicket. And also, of course, as always, the instruction booklet that comes with it is attached to the bottom of it. There's not much to look at the moment, so we're just gonna it'll show you how to put the belt on her and the poncho through. So if you want to read that, you have the booklet. Okay guys, so we have all the accessories and the figures themselves laid out on the table. And in this case, I kind of separated in between from the Leia and the Wicket. There's not a lot of accessories, but it's some cool accessories. In this case, first we'll start with the bases. Basically, both of them, they have the Endor pattern on each one of their bases with their respective name, Wicket and Princess Leia. This base itself is kind of lately printed. I like when they did this. Sometimes they have like a little slider that you can put a different picture on if you want, like the Death Star floors or like a typical Star Wars floor. In this case, they went for the indoor because both of them is on the indoor appearance. Wicket didn't go anywhere else but indoor in the movie. And for each one of them, you have the crotch grabbers, which, the crotch grabber for Leia, but Wicket has the waist grabber. I guess because it's so short, he will not be able to work fine with them. I don't like, you always know when I'm talking about them, I don't like the waist grabbers because they damage the figure itself if you're not careful. And on some figures, if you leave it for too long, it might produce some damage. But I guess for the figure being so short, you should not be able to have a short enough crotch grabber for him. So for Leia, it's fine because she's regular size. That don't bother me too much. The figure does stand on its own very well once you place his feet. So, and sometimes maybe you can have him sitting down. So I don't have any problems with that. I'm not going to be using it, but that's what it comes with. Okay, and on Leia's side, let's start with the hands. She already has a relaxed hand on the left, and I already switched before for the relaxed hand on the right side when I switched for the watch that comes with. And she has a gun grabbing right hand, and also she's got a grabbing left hand, and two more accessory grabbing gun and accessory grabbing hands. So we got two relaxed and four of the just trying to grab accessories hands. One neat accessory that I always like because this helps to mask the wrists pegs on each figure, especially when it's just a flesh figure and they have no sleeves. You have her watch, which is the reminiscent of old 80s watch that we used to wear at the 80s, and in this case that's her watch. It's not elastic and it does not come apart, so what you have to do is just remove her wrist, her hand, and slide this in and then put the hand back on the wrist. On her accessory blasters, she has her indoor blaster, the one she used in the movie. It's very neatly painted. They always do the same. They have the basic black paint with some brushing for the metal, showing some wear off on the gun itself, that it has some metal underneath it. Always, Hot Toys does great on this accessories. I love these guns. It's very simple. That's all she uses in the movie. Okay, and then for her helmet, you have her indoor helmet that she wore in the movie with nice little detailing, scratches on the paint. This helmet looks amazing. It completes the look once you put her poncho on, and you have the little strap on the bottom of it that you will remove just to get the helmet on her head, and then you'll be able to slap this on the wrist, on the little peg on the bottom. Bad thing about it is this helmet does not come apart. I was looking at the instructions, and main thing, what would you do is she has a magnetic hairpiece, so when you will take her hairpiece off, and then what you need to do is make sure the little peg is out of the way, and you will have to slide from the front down, so that way keep it from scratching the figure itself. So you'll do it like this, and then you go down. I don't know how many times you can do this until it gets scratched, so I wish the helmet will come apart, or maybe her hair will come off completely, but that's the way you would do it. And then of course you got to get that piece out of the way. So if you do it from the front like the instruction says, it's not a really tight fit, and it has some padding at the top. Sorry, I was off camera. But yeah, I don't know how many times would you do this until the paint on her hair starts coming off. On the inside of the helmet, you can see there's some clear protective. I guess it's protecting the material that is on the top, and also it protects the the figure itself from getting her hair scratched. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see the stitches in there. And then, yeah, they put that, I guess, to protect stitching and the hair. All right, in case of our poncho, of course, she wouldn't be complete Andor Leia with the poncho, which in this case, it has some wiring around, so you can do some posts all around this and around the bottom. And it has the little cuts here to put the belt through, because the way you do it is you have to have the gun outside the poncho instead of inside, so the belt will go around there, and then it will go to the back. And of course you have the part of the hood, which also has some wiring, so when you can post that. And it's a little longer on the back, so that way you'll know also which way it goes. And after you get it put on her, and then with the wires, it'll drape very well. I will show you her look once we're done. And basically, her belt has Velcro on the back to make it easier. But the big thing is you're gonna have to take out all the accessories that she's got, all the pouches. There's a Velcro on the front too, to keep it in place when she's not wearing the poncho. And you will have to slide all this holsters, pouches and stuff out of the way before you put the poncho on. So that way you can slide this in the poncho and then this be outside. But we'll show you what it looks like a little bit later. For Wicket himself, before we get to the big accessories. For Wicket himself, we have his big spear, which is extremely long. I'm assuming in the movie was that long. I don't remember it being extremely long like that, but I guess it is per movie. I guess it is. I don't know. But that's a nice little spear with a stone arrow on the front and some ropes that have been used to put together. Everything is plastic sculpted and painted. You got some grass on the stone itself, and then the stick is not straight, will be just like a tree branch, and it has a lot of detailing on it, if you can see it. And it's not flat. It's got ridges, so to simulate in the wood. In this case, we get the two drumsticks at the end of the movie, where they used to celebrate and bang on top of the Stormtrooper helmets. Just neatly painted. It's very, very well done. Everything is molded in plastic, and even at the bottom you have the cuts, like if they will cut the tree branches just to make it. It's not perfect. Before I get into the nice details on the helmets, because I love that accessories, we have a set of hands that you will change. Some accessory grabbing hands with his 3 fingers and the nails. Everything's being done nicely, even inside of it. All the detail and the painting on it is amazing. And of course you got the actual fur on there. In this case, we have one pointing finger for the right hand. That's left, I think. That's the left hand. In this case, we have one that already comes with the little cracker or cookie, whatever Leia was feeding him to ease him, because he was scared, and show her that she has some food. She was trying to eat, and they gave it to him. That piece does not come off. It's molded into it. So I'm kind of glad about that, because that way you won't have problems, because it's so tiny. You might lose it. So yeah, it does not come off the hand. And then on the last hand is a little more the other side, I guess, for grabbing the spears or the drumsticks. And of course, he comes with his set of hands of relaxed palms right here on both sides. Same paint. I'll show you, if you look at it, there's some dirt in between the wrinkles of the fingers too. Alrighty, before I get into the helmet, let me go to the base because I forgot about that. We have three of indoor diorama kind of base, which is hard plastic, and he fits on the corners of the bases, so you can mix and match where you're gonna put them. So you can put some in there. You can put some on the back if you want them. They fit perfectly. They have some weight to it too, so they're not easily broken or dropped. We have two with leaves, and this one has a tree branch, which you can also use if you don't use the waist grabber for Wicket. You can use that as also as a base to hold him, maybe. It all depends. This one is not a corner. This one is a flat part, so you can put it in any. Sorry, there. You can put it in any place. So, but it's just a flat. You can go in the back too, or a front. If you want to hide the names, you can put it on the front. Still looks fine. And then the last one is also a corner piece on this one. It's nice detailing. I like using these. And well, let's go to the helmets, because this is one of the best things I've seen. This one, not so great because there's not much to the helmet itself, but you can see that this helmet's been through Hades. It's got a lot of scratches on the paint on purpose. You can see the underside of the helmet before it was painted, all the scratches and everything, all dents. They've been in Endor, they've been under fight. It's not the clean ones that you have on the Death Star. These were people that were on Endor itself, so naturally they'll be all messed up and scratched. On the inside, there's nothing. It's just plastic. I'm assuming, I guess if you have the figure, you can wear that on them. It will easily come off because there's nothing to hold them. I do not have the newest release ones. I don't know if they're out or not. The Death Star Ray Commander or whatever they call it. They wear these helmets, so I'm not sure. I know they probably have like a little chin strap. This one don't have it. And on this case, this is one of the best. That we've seen some of this with the Mandalorian, but this figure was before the Mandalorian was released. So in this case, you got the Stormtrooper helmet with all the dirt from the Endor. It's weathered like crazy, and it's like it should be. Got some scratches, some dirt. Everything looks amazing on this figure itself. I mean, on the helmet itself, the accessory, the little communicators in there. This looks amazing. And not only that, if you go on the inside, everything inside is sculpted too. Of course, you wouldn't want to one of your figures wear this because it's going to scratch. This is just for looks in there. And we see this a lot. I'm not sure in 2020 how many of this we had, but in this case, this amazing accessory. The only bad thing about it, it doesn't come on with any stands that you can have the stands there when he's playing the drums and stuff. You're just basically going to have them on the floor. But I love this. This is absolutely amazing. All right, that's it for all the accessories. We're going to take a closer look at the figures. Let's do that right now before we do all the accessories applying the punch and stuff. But in this case, like we already spoke, this is Leia on her General Leia outfit. And in this figure, you have, of course, her hair that is going around the back side of it. We already seen it. This comes off. It's got a magnet in there to hold it in, but that's the hairstyle she was wearing. These are sculpted in soft plastic, little sideburns that she has along there. So be careful with these. They're very, very thin, but they do move a little bit. So when you put the helmet on, just be careful. I don't do much with them because I'm scared of breaking them. But it's a nice detail of the hair sculpt and the paint. You can even see where the hair will start growing. This very neatly done. And the look, I think they used later on the Bespin Leia, they based it on this look. So this was first before the Bespin Leia. There's Carrie Fisher, amazing. And there is no eyeball rolling or anything. So In this case, you got the jacket, the general jacket, and the pants. The undershirt, a little brown shirt with little pockets in there, just like the movie. It will hide some of the joints in here. It's not long enough to hide the joints. Sometimes they look kind of ugly, but if you work with it, you can probably hide the joints a little bit, like that. And it has the little patch there. There's the undershirt. This is already stitched in, so I'm not sure. I don't think we be able to take that off. I mean, why would you? But and then the pants, of course, they look weird without the belt on, but it's like a soft material, and you have the stitching on the side, like she wore in the movie. Very 80s pants. And the boots. The boots are one boot altogether. There's no split cut. This is the ones that everybody was complaining on the look. In this case, are thinner, so you don't look like it's puffing over here a lot. It's holding up very nicely. You have some range when you want to move it, and then on the side to side. So if you want to do some posing, you can wrinkle some, and it looks like it might be pleather. This been since 2020. That's 3 years, almost into 4 years, and still holding up great. I keep my figures, in their box. And at the bottom, of course, you have, Lucasfilm, and you got some of the heel and the stitching details in there. It's very neatly done. And then we'll see what she looks like with the poncho. And then for Wicket, this is the only thing that it was, a lot of people were complaining about. I have a picture right here of what the prototype looked like. And then you can compare what this Wicket looks like. It's a little darker. It's not as much detail as when you do prototypes. Of course, they look way better because they have the time to take care of it and pay attention to all the details, and they're trying to sell the product. When you go into production, it's different. You have to hurry up. You have to make in quantities, and always will lose quality on it. This one looks very different. It's very dark. The nose, the eyes, everything. I don't mind. If I never would have seen the prototype, this figure is amazing. Now that I've seen the prototype, it looks very different, but don't be disappointed because this figure actually is awesome. I love having this figure. I wish they make more Ewoks to build an Ewok army, but we haven't seen it yet. This is the first Ewok ever in 2020. We're still waiting. It's been 3 years later and still no other Ewoks. There are sculpted ears with hair already attached on them. These hairs are not like Chewbacca that you have to keep brushing them to make it look good. That's how they are. You have the same fingers. We already seen that. The articulation is there. It blends in because of the hair, but it's the same articulation. There's a padded body to make it a little fatter. It's very sturdy, very heavy though. I would thought it would be very light, but it's got some weight to it. It's not too heavy, but it's got some weight to it. And of course, there's some articulation on the head, back and forth. It moves very well. I have not been moving this figure too much. And there's a little stitching over there that it happened, I think, on the movie. And there's, if I remember, there's a cut somewhere. Some stitching over here, some over there to go around. I think there was a cut somewhere, but I'm not sure. And then the stitches on the top. But yeah, I love this figure. Tell me you don't look like Wicket. Might be a little too dark, but it's this Wicket. And then of course you got the feet that goes up and down. You can move inside to side, go on around left and right. The little molded at the bottom for the feet. And like I said, this figure of mine is like it doesn't move. So if you want to stand them up, and if you have the feet in the proper position, it will stay. So, alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and put some accessories on them. I'm going to show you what the poncho looks on Leia, and I'm going to set them up, and then we'll give you our last thoughts. You probably already know what I think about these figures, but we're going to do the proper review. Before we do anything, just advice, the head will not go through the hole for the poncho. So what you have to do, you have to take the head off of Leia, off the joint, and then you can put on the poncho. And once you're done putting the belt and everything, then go ahead, you can put this back and put the head back on her. So that's one main thing you have to do. Another thing worth pointing out, her fingers are very skinny, you know, and soft too. They're very soft. They're not like hard plastic. So when it comes time to put the gun in her hand, it's very easy to slide in without the risk of breaking them. So I think this way to do hands are a little bit better than the regular one, because, you know, the regulars are sculpted. Is like you can scratch the gun paint, or you can break the fingers or scratch the finger paint. So in this case, very soft fingers. So this is very neatly done. I like this, the way they did this one. And that's back in 2020. Okay, and for the belt, this is what we were talking about earlier. You do not have to take this off, but you do have to, because this gun belt comes on here, for example, the gun holster. So what you have to do, since there's Velcro there, you have to slide this very carefully because it's tight. You would not be able to have the figure wearing the belt if you don't get this out of the way. Since there's not going to be any Velcro on the poncho, you have to slide these forward to get them out of the way. These are a little harder because it's very tiny. I think these I'm going to try to do without having to go through the Velcro, because I'm scared that I'm going to strip that is going to come off. So I'm going to see if I can do that, and I'll let you know in a second. One thing I did not realize is, if you can see, the longest pouch is probably behind her, or maybe taken off. That one, the long one, that way it fits better. So we're gonna take that long pouch off the belt, put it back in, and put it behind it. That way it'll get a better range and looks better, because the middle part of the belt is supposed to be in the middle of her waist. In this case, it's not working out like that. So let's do that, and I'll show you. There you go. Be careful with this one, because this one has it's the longest accessory. It has 2 loops. So be careful when you go through, because the Velcro will get stuck on there. So make sure that you're very careful and take your time to slide that off. See, in that case, it's kind of bending in, but it's helping. You might help if you bend this in a little bit. So I'm just gonna do it off camera, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, so in this case, we have the belt already attached. We get the loop right in the middle. To get the loop right in the middle, you have to actually fasten the Velcro on this side, because this part is shorter than this one. And I did not put the other pouch on. This will go in there. The loops are way too small. The Velcro is too big. It's gonna keep stripping off if I keep doing it. It's under the belt anyway. I'm in the poncho, so it's not gonna show. That goes on the back side of it. So we just might as well just leave it off, keep it safe, and from breaking some more. And then I got the helmet on, and that cut right here is already supposed to be there. It's a wear off. And just be careful when you do it. There's a lot of stitching there that the Velcro wants to pull off, especially when it comes through the loops right there. So just take your time, get it done. Sometimes I do apply some accessories on my figures when I put them back in the box. I leave them with the poncho, but I'm scared of the bleeding of colors and stuff. So I did take it off. And just take your time. And then you can adjust it if you want to higher, lower, if you want to move the belt, the gun holster. You want to move the belt down, or the pouches. So, alrighty, let's pose them up and see what they look like and do our final review. Alright guys, so here it is, Leia and Wicket 2-pack from Hot Toys. Absolutely amazing figures, from the detailing to the accessories to everything that is about Star Wars. This is one of my favorites of all time. This and the Luke Skywalker and the special edition, the one with Endor ponchos and stuff, the Jedi Knight one, goes together so freaking well. I love these 2 figures. If you guys did not get these figures when they first came out in 2020, I would suggest to see if you can find them. I'm not sure about what price they will be on the retailing. This figure's been discontinued for a while, so you're not gonna find it on Sideshow or nothing unless they find some on some conventions and stuff. But if you can, just make sure you go out there and try to find them. The amount of details that these figures have, the paint scheme on the poncho, the wires to the poncho, to Wicket's hair suit, because it is a suit that is stitched on the back, or Velcro in, I'm not sure, I didn't check that, but it's amazing. And even when you change his hands, because I had to change the hand for the wrist one to hold the little spear on his hand, it's absolutely gorgeous. And the accessories that comes with it. Again, I wish I had a little stand. Probably we can 3D print something like that from somebody that we know. There's different options. She looks amazing with the helmet on. She also will look great without the helmet if a helmet was not on her head. It was much more simpler to put on that I thought. There's no risk on breaking anything or scratching. I don't think so. I didn't see nothing like that. The only problem that I had, of course, was the pouch for the belt. And that's the only part that I have issues with when I was putting the belt on. Having to go through the Velcro thickness versus the loop on the pouch itself. And that's about it. But this figure is amazing, guys. You can have so many poses. You know, like I said, Wicket's got the little cracker it comes with. You can put the hair back on Leia. There's so many options you can have. And I cannot wait. Someday maybe they'll make a Han Solo Endor that I've been waiting on. I know you can customize it, but at this time there's no Han Solo Endor out there. But it will be amazing to have. And Chewie, of course, just Chewie. So I'm gonna try to do on another what you call it, the going back reviews. For the next one will be Luke on his Jedi Knight costume plus the Endor poncho. That way we'll go with these figures. And as you know, I stream on Twitch a lot of different games. Galaxy of Heroes, Battlefront, we do Call of Duty sometimes, I don't know, Fortnite, any kind of games. Well, I'm going to be doing the RoboCop. These figures are amazing because I'm trying to unlock the Galactic Legend Leia, which is that Leia in the game. And I'm going to have her display on the background. So make sure you check my socials. Make sure you hit that bell notification, hit that like. If you have any questions in anything, if I don't know, I will find out. Just make sure you comment down below on the comment section. I will try to answer every single one of them. And again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. 2020 figure is still freaking amazing in 2023. I am not disappointed with this one. Thank you so much, guys. You have a good one, and I'll see you on the next video.